under the same roof. The unexpected encounter. Lucy Carson never imagined that her life would take an unexpected turn when she accepted a job at an advertising agency in Washington, D.C. Although her work, the graphic designer, liked her job, but her daily routine made her feel trapped. What she least expected was that her boss, Jake Miller, a serious and reserved man, would become someone impossible to ignore. Orar. Jake was the typical businessman, calculating, disciplined, and always with an impassive expression. Although he was respected in the office, many considered him cold and distant. However, too, I go in him called the attention of Lucy. Perhaps it was his intense gaze or the way he always analyzed everything with surgical precision. The opportunity to get to know him better came one night at the party from the agency. Lucy wasn't a big fan of these events, but her best friend Clara convinced her to stay. Come on, Lucy, you have to relax. When was the last time you danced and had fun? Is that true? Clara insisted, dragging her to the dance floor. Lucy laughed and let herself be carried away by the music. Among laughter and carefree movements, her gaze crossed with Jake's, who was observing her, Vaba from the bar. He carried a glass in his hand and an expression that she couldn't decipher. I think your boss isn't used to seeing you so, Free Clara joked. To Lucy's surprise, Jake approached. He approached her. Lucy, can I talk to you for a moment? He asked with his usual serious tone. She nodded and followed him to a quieter corner. I wanted to congratulate you on the design of the last campaign. You did a great job, said Jake, with a slight smile. Lucy raised an eyebrow, surprised. Is that your attempt to be kind, boss? Because if so, you need more practice, she replied Elia, smiling amusedly. Jake let out a slight laugh, something almost no one in the office had seen. Maybe. I'm not very good at this, he admitted. The conversation flowed more naturally than Eli waited. I discovered that Jake wasn't as rigid as he seemed. He had a dry but ingenious sense of humor, and when he allowed himself to relax, he turned out to be pleasant company. The night advanced, and, without realizing it, Lucy and Jake ended up talking for hours. Something in the air had changed. The game of destiny. The following days, Lucy and Jake began to interact more in the office. At first, they were only small exchanges of words, but over time, they became more frequent. One afternoon, after an exhausting meeting, Jake approached his desk. Do you have Pla? Are you free tonight? He asked, seemingly casually. Lucy looked at him with surprise. Are you asking me out? Just a coffee. Don't think too much about it. She smiled and accepted. They went to a small coffee shop Ercano Y. To Lucy's surprise, Jake seemed more relaxed than ever. I never imagined you as someone who drinks coffee after work, she said, joking. Well, I never imagined you dancing either. We did as last night, but here we are, Jake replied with a smile. The conversation became more personal. Lucy discovered that Jake had always wanted to dedicate himself to writing, but family pressure had taken him to the business world. Why did you never try it? She asked, curious. Jake sighed. Because we can't always do what we want. Sometimes we do what we must. OS. Lucy looked at him attentively. Maybe you should take a little more risk. That phrase hung in the air. The inevitable attraction. As the weeks passed, the relationship between Lucy and Jake, he made it closer. They understood each other with just a glance, and, although neither of them would admit it, the tension between them was undeniable. One night, after a successful presentation, the agency organized another toast. Lucy was celebrating with Clara when Jake approached her with a glass in his hand. You did a great job again, Lucy, he said. With that smile he no longer tried to hide. Gee, thanks, boss. Are you always so kind when you drink wine? She joked. Only when the company deserves it. The atmosphere between them became denser. Their gazes met, and, for a moment, Lucy felt the world around her disappearing. Jake broke the silence. Come outside with me. Lucy followed him to the terrace. The night breeze caressed their faces, and the city shone before them. Around. We can't keep ignoring this, can we? Jake asked softly. Lucy felt her heart accelerate. No, we can't. Before she could say anything else, Jake leaned in and kissed her. It was a slow, intense kiss, as if they had been waiting too long for that moment. When they separated, Lucy knew there was no turning back. Between love and fear, the romance entered, and they began to grow secretly. They shared stolen moments in the office, improvised dinners, and conversations until dawn. But not everything was easy. Jake was afraid of how this would affect his work, and Lucy feared that he would regret it. One night, while they were at Jake's apartment, Lucy noticed that he was more distant. Is something wrong? She asked. Jake sighed. Lucy, no, I want to hurt you. My life is complicated. And this is not simple. Lucy felt a lump in her throat. Do you want to end it? He looked at her intensely. No, but I am afraid of what might happen. Our Lucy took his hand. Maybe we just need to stop thinking so much and live it. Jake kissed her again, and although doubt remained, they both decided to take a chance. The final decision. The challenge of their relationship did not last long. Rumors began to circulate in the office, and soon their boss called them to talk. I have nothing against your relationship, but you must be discreet, he warned them, irtio. Lucy and Jake agreed to be more careful, but they knew they couldn't hide it forever. One night, while having dinner at Jake's house, Lucy took courage. Jake, if this is real for TI, I need you to say it. I don't want to be a secret forever. Jake looked at her intently, as if he were debating internally. Finally, he took her hand and said, Lucy, you are the only real thing, and I have it in this city. And I don't want to lose you. That confession was all she needed. Epilogue. The future. With time, Lucy and Jake made their relationship public. There were obstacles, criticisms, and moments of doubt, but the love they had built was stronger than any adversity. Jake, inspired by Lucy, began to write in his free time. And she, happier than ever, realized that sometimes destiny takes us exactly where we need to be. And so, under the same roof, two souls who never imagined meeting discovered that love, when it is true, always find the way to succeed. And